guys, so today I'm going to be doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag, which I've linked the original video below, but as I'm about to explain, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. So I know this tag was really popular and circulating in like August and September, but I did not have a YouTube account in August and September, and I really wanted to do this tag because it seemed like fun, so I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. Well, disclaimers. Anything I say in this video is not meant to offend anyone. They're my opinions and they might be different than yours, and that's totally fine. Neither of us is wrong or right. Obviously, it's just an opinion. And also, there might be some spoilers in this video, so I'll list the books that I mention, and if you haven't read them, then maybe skip when I'm talking about them. Okay. So I will be reading the questions off my phone, all unprofessionally. So the first question is a popular book or series that you didn't like. Okay, well, I did not like the Vampire Academy series at all, whatsoever. And I'm still really bitter that I actually spent money buying the first book because I did not like it. And I did not read the rest of the series, actually. I stopped after the first book. And I read it because the movie was coming out, even though I didn't end up seeing the movie. But I have to say that I did not enjoy it at all. I liked the world a lot. I thought it was pretty interesting. And I thought that that was kind of cool. It was different than any other vampire stories I'd read. But the writing style, I just could not deal with. I really could not make myself sit through another book with this writing style. But other than that, maybe if I'd read the rest of the series, I would have liked it more. Maybe I would have gotten used to the writing style. And I think if I'd read it in middle school when I read Twilight, I would have loved it. But unfortunately for Vampire Academy, I did not read it then. And so I do not love it, and goodbye. Okay. So the second question is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. I was going to talk about Wuthering Heights because that's kind of controversial, but I decided seeing it on my bookshelf. Now, disclaimer, I don't love this series. I never finished this series, but I did like it when I read it. So for a popular series that everyone else seems to hate, but you liked, I'm gonna go with the House of Night series. Oh, I'm already embarrassed. But let me explain. I read the House of Night books, or the ones that were out. Aren't there like 50 of them now? Something ridiculous. I read the books that had been out in 7th grade. And 7th grade me thought that these books were pretty badass. Now, I will admit that I have not read any of these books since 7th or 8th grade. So I know that me now would literally probably feel the same way most people feel about these books. But at the time, I really liked them. So what you gonna do? You can't account for the taste that you used to have. So yeah, most people do hate this series, and I did not. There we go. Okay. Next question is a love triangle where the character ended up with the person you did not want them to, or an OTP that you didn't like. So, this is quite the unpopular opinion. I'm gonna go with the Infernal Devices. Spoilers if you hadn't read them. Okay. I honestly did not care who Tessa ended up with because I liked Wessa slightly better than Jessa, but I liked them both equally. But the thing is, I was the biggest hair and stairs shipper ever. And I did not think Will and Jem were going to end up together. I didn't actually think that was going to be how the book ended. That is what I really wanted. And so, of course, I was going to be disappointed that it didn't happen, even though I did not for an instant expect it to happen. I'm still loyal to hair and stairs. I still think that that is where it's really at in this series. Will and Jem. As for OTPs that I don't like, there's too many of them for me to actually list off right now. Oops. Okay, next question is, a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. Okay, for me, that has to be contemporary fiction. I have nothing against contemporary fiction. One of my very favorite books of all time, which would be Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, is contemporary fiction. Like, that's how it is. But usually I just wouldn't go out of my way to choose to read it. When I do read it, like this year I read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I loved it. It was so much fun, and I love Crazy Rich Asians and China Rich Girlfriend. They're so fun. But, like, for me, I think contemporary fiction basically is just kind of fun books, and it's usually not what I would go for when I'm choosing to read a book. The next one is a popular or beloved character that you do not like. Please do not rip my head off for this one, but 4 from Divergent. Okay, first of all, I really was not a huge fan of the Divergent books to begin with. I loved the first book. I was so obsessed with the first book, but then Insurgent got worse, and Allegiant got worse. So, I didn't love the series. But I really just was not all that enthused with 4. It wasn't that I didn't like him. I think, actually, when I remember myself reading this first book, I liked him a lot. And I think he's an interesting character, and I think he goes through struggles, and that's cool. But I just, as a hero, he was just kind of blah for me. He's just kind of meh. I just don't really like, it's just kind of that flatline character that you're just kind of like, alright, you don't really have an opinion on him. He's kind of just, I'm kind of neutral on him. He's just kind of boring to me. So that would be a character I don't love. Next question is a popular author that you can't seem to get into. I have to say maybe John Green, just because I'm not a huge contemporary fiction person. But I did enjoy his books when I read them. Yeah, I don't really know on this one. I guess maybe I don't like to repeat them, so I'm not going to use the ones that I used earlier. But I guess maybe Rochelle Mead, because I didn't read the Vampire Academy books. I did not finish those, and I don't plan on reading Bloodlines just because I don't like her writing style. So maybe that works. Maybe I'd say Rochelle Mead. The next, a popular trope that you are tired of seeing. Okay, this is like a relationship trope that I'm tired of seeing, and once I explain how I figured this out, you're gonna know exactly what brand of trash I am. When I started watching sports anime, and I really didn't ship the things that everyone of my friends shipped a lot, that's when I realized that I hated this particular trope, and that I just cannot ship couples that are like this unless they're really special to me and I really like the characters' compatibility. You guys probably love this trope. I hate friends to lovers. That is the worst trope ever for me. I just cannot. It's so overdone, and I just don't like it. I just don't enjoy reading books that are like, we're best friends and now we're together. And I mean, I personally, for me, my favorite romantic kind of trope is like the whole enemy slash rival slash we don't really like each other, but do we? To lovers, or even like enemies to friends to lovers, but just friends to lovers, I can't do it. I just can't. So that is a trope that I am tired of seeing. Again, sometimes it's okay with me. Like, there are some books that it really works and it really pulls it off, but it's kind of character dependent, and most of the time I'm just not into it. Stay friends. Let's have some platonic representation here. Okay. A popular series that you have no interest in reading. That would be the Shatter Me series by I don't know who. I think I have this long-held grudge against this series because my friend, when she was reading them in middle school, she told me to read them, and I didn't want to because I thought they looked dumb. But I don't think I ever even knew what they were about. I just thought they looked dumb. So, I still don't know what they're about, so if you want to comment, maybe I'll change my opinion on this series. But I have no interest whatsoever in reading the Shatter Me series. I mean, maybe I'll read it just as a point of reference eventually, but I can't see myself reading it. And the final question is, the saying goes, the book is always better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? Okay, so for this one, I would say The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and basically all of the Narnias, I would say, except The Silver Chair, probably, because I really loved that book. Don't get me wrong, I loved the Narnia books, and they were really important to me in childhood, but the Narnia movies were too, and I cared a lot more about the characters when I watched the movies, and maybe I'm just saying that because my childhood crush was definitely Peter Pevensey. It's pretty good for it's pretty good for me as a 9-year-old. But yeah, I really liked these movies, and I still feel like all nostalgic watching the movies. So I would say that I liked that movie better than the book. So this has been me doing a tag that is probably long dead, but I really wanted to do it because I like ranting about things that are unpopular. So yeah, if by some odd chance you too just made this account, consider this your invitation to do an old tag that people aren't really doing anymore, because I had fun doing it, and so should you. Okay, bye for now.